So I was recently tagged by the ever so amazing and awesome HappiLeeErin. This is a manga tag. I think she was tagged by Miss Random Badger Miana. So kudos to her for starting this. And this is basically going to be like a Q&A kind of thing, but mainly about manga. And I'm actually excited because I haven't done one of these in a really long time. So yeah, let's jump into it. So question numero uno. What was your first manga? Now, surprisingly enough, my first manga was a shoujo manga called Fruits Basket, and I had seen the anime and I was like, okay, I want to get into manga. I want to check this out, what's going on with this series. So I picked up the first. They had like those hardcover, I think it was like 2-in-1s or something like that, and they weren't releasing them fast enough, so I never kept up with it. And the main reason why I was getting into it was so that I can keep going, because the anime only did a certain portion of the story, and I never followed up with it. But I remember just being like, oh man, I'm starting to get into manga, yeah. Question number two, what was your most expensive manga? Now, off the top of my head, to be honest with you, the only one I can think of, I know the Dragon Ball Z coloreds were pretty pricey. I know some Vinland Saga volumes were kind of pricey as well. I remember one time paying like $14.99 for High School of the Dead Volume 1 when it was coming out, and at the time I was really excited because I was starting to get into seasonal stuff and everything, and I was like, yeah, screw it, man, I'm gonna go for it. And like, looking back, $15 for Volume 1 of High School of the Dead, terrible price. Don't ever do it. Question number three, what was your least expensive manga? Now, a lot of times I'll go to half price books and they have the most incredible deals. Sometimes you'll pay 99 cents for a volume. So I can't think off the top of my head which one, but a lot of times, a lot of my Naruto collection, my Bleach collection, and even a small portion of my One Piece collection was me getting them for like $2 sometimes, $1 sometimes. So yeah, if you go to half price books, they will hook you up. Question number four, what was the most boring manga you own? I can't really say like, because everything that I read usually gives me some sort of enjoyment. I mean, I've read boring chapters of things, because like everything has a boring chapter here or there or whatever, but it's hard to really say like this manga was boring, because usually if a manga starts to get boring, whatever, I'll just start dropping it. So I don't really know necessarily I've had a manga that was boring, but more so there's been like boring chapters within pretty much any manga I could think of. Question number five, what was your favorite manga? Now, I have a lot of favorites. It would be really hard for me to choose. I mean, from the Narutos and One Pieces to Berserk, and you know, there's just a lot of awesome manga that are my favorite, so it would really be hard for me to pick just one or whatever. But yeah, I love a lot of manga, right? Can't forget that Magi greatness though, just saying. What is the most relatable manga that you own? I gotta go with No Longer Human. I felt that to a certain degree, some of the things that the character feels and goes through throughout the series, definitely I can resonate with, to a smaller degree of course, but I really felt like No Longer Human was more relatable and more personable, and just what happens to him at the end, I can't really relate, but it's kind of one of my fears as well. So definitely, if there was a relatable manga, it'd be something along the lines of that, mixed with, I guess, small portions of Welcome to the NHK, Satsu Tatsuhiro as well, so something along the lines of that. What is one manga you own that is based off an anime? I can only think of one at the moment, and that is Code Geass. I have volume 1 of Code Geass, and I know that the anime came first and then they did the manga. From what I heard, the manga is boring and is nowhere near as epic as the anime. It doesn't even have mechs. So yeah. What is your rarest manga? Now, I mean, I have some stuff here or there. I have like some out of print Future Diary volumes, but to me personally, I think my rarest manga, or collection for that matter, is my Berserk collection. At the time, I know they reprinted it recently, like I think last year or something, but at the time when I got it, I remember I was on eBay going crazy trying to get so badly like the entirety of it, and I couldn't. I kept getting outbid. Like, I was trying to go at least up to $200-300 or whatever. Motherfuckers was taking it to $1,600. We were not going there, but if I had to say rarest, because I mean, I really treasure my Berserk collection, so yeah. One of your printed manga, reprinted manga that was printed before, then reprinted by another company. Only one I can think of was Fairy Tail, because I know it failed under the company it was with. I don't remember exactly which company it was. I think it might have been Yen Press. Don't quote me on that, but I know that it failed and then they went to another, you know, distributor, Kodansha, whatever. So yeah, Fairy Tail is the only one I can think of for that. The most popular manga series you own? I mean, Dragon Ball, Naruto, One Piece. I mean, One Piece is the most popular manga of all time, so I guess One Piece, right? What is the most damaged manga you own? I have some pretty beat up stuff. I know I have a few Yu Yu Hakusho volumes that are just absolutely terrible. Somebody like colored in some of the pages and they're ripped and everything. And I have a couple Bleach volumes that I kind of messed up while I was moving. So yeah, between a Yu Yu Hakusho volume 2 and a Bleach volume. Which manga has the most amazing art? Hands down, of anything I've ever read. Don't get me wrong, Berserk has great art. You know, Bleach, the character designs be looking pretty as hell, but Vagabond is in a league of its own. Vagabond has some of the most amazing art. Almost every page looks like you could rip it out and put it on your wall. That's how beautiful the art is in Vagabond. So nobody can tell me any different. Of everything that I've ever read, Vagabond is the most gorgeous art I've ever seen, and the mangaka they should give him an award for one of the greatest artists I've ever seen, like hands down. Oldest published manga that you own. I know I have some actually not some, I think I have almost all of Dr. Slump, so it might be Dr. Slump because I think that was from the 80s if I'm correct, because that was prior to Dragon Ball, and Dragon Ball started in 84, so it might have been Dr. Slump. Newest published manga that you own. I know I own, let's see, I think it might be Ajin. I know I have the Ajin volumes. I don't know if you've ever heard of that or whatever. It's a new manga, whatever. So it might be that. I know I have the latest Claymore. Yeah, that's a tough one because I bought a lot of new manga. So yeah, we'll go with Ajin for all intents and purposes. Screw it. And a recent manga that you purchased on my trip to New York when I went to Kinokuniya. I bought a shitload of Japanese volumes, Tokyo Ghoul volumes, Beelzebubs. That's definitely all like my last manga that I really picked up. And yeah, so yeah, that's the end of my tag video. Pretty cool stuff. Thanks for tagging me again, Aaron. You're freaking awesome. And now the people that I'm going to tag for this one, let's start off with, okay, we'll go Double 4 Anime, The Phone 99, SavageZweiPanda, JaymesHanson, ShikasClouds. I know you're not that big of a manga guy, but yeah, I know you do video games, but screw it. ShikasClouds, ShintaiReviews, The Anime Room. Who else? DakotaBroskie, there we go. And yeah, that's all I have for this manga tag video. If you want to do it, you want to participate in the comments, any of the questions, whatever, or you have any other questions, who knows, maybe I'll do some Q&A sometime. I know people have been asking me since ages ago to do Q&As or whatever, like any anime, manga, video game, pop culture questions or whatever you want me to answer. Maybe it'll inspire me to do a Q&A if you have some of those, but don't be a dick because you know who I'm looking right at you. Yeah, thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed. If you liked anything I had to say or enjoyed the video, drop me a like. I'd greatly appreciate it. And if you haven't subscribed, if you can do so as well, that'd be amazing. I'm ForneverWorld, and as always, people, have an awesome day.